My name is Kay, and this is my cave of possibilities. I have yarny stuff to the left of me, cross stitch to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Princess is going to be a problem today. Hi friends, how have you been? Managed to get back after 2 weeks, a little bit of stitching, a little bit of retreating, a little bit of princesses all up in my business. We are going to have a good time today. I am sure of that. It is busy time at work with, well, we had more than quarter in close. It's half in, or the year close, which was June, which means in July I had a lot of extra accounting stuff to do. But we went on family vacation, and so anyway, I've just been behind the curveball at work all week long, all 2 weeks long. Anyway, hopefully we'll manage to get caught up and everything will be good when we get deeper into August. But right now it's August close and I'm just babbling about accounting, and you guys are really here to see some cross stitch. So let's start off mostly with my projects, and we'll do the a little bit of a review of the Stitchery Express retreat that we went to last weekend. And let's start with the smallest thing that I am working on. I'm looking around for a background. I don't have one because that would have been smart. We'll just use the back of my notes. So I have been working on and off on this little tiny October mini. This is one out of the mini stitches from Primrose Cottage. They put out a booklet. I have to say it's about 1.5 years now. Different little mini pin cushions that you can stitch, and here is the October one. I think I showed you that I had stitched one of these already to be part of a gift exchange coming up, and then I just liked it so much that I decided to stitch it again. I'm stitching it with the called for DMCs. They were easy to find and they look great together. It's on a piece of Bridesmaid from Fabric Flare. I'm not sure which shade of the Bridesmaid it is. It is an even weave, and I think it's a 32 count. I believe that's what it is. So I've just been stitching on that a little bit here and there when I didn't want anything. Oh, you've got your tail caught here on the cord. There. Come here. Come over here. Come over here. Yeah. Thank you. Easy stitching when I didn't want to have some serious brain power going. So that's the first little thing that I stitched on. I would pull it out of an evening while at the stitching retreat if I wanted to go and sit at a separate table and see what everybody else was doing around me. So there's that. My next little project to show off is going to be Christmas by the Letter. This is a pattern by Lizzie Kate. I've rolled up what we've done before. And so I finished off the combs from Yuletide combs and all this white stitching here. And I finished off the Christ is Born, the first half of the... Oh, no, I haven't got there yet. Yeah, this is the second half of the second pattern. I haven't managed to finish that one off yet. So, what I did stitch... it's looking pretty nice. I'm kind of moving slow on this one. Think about it a little bit, do something else. Think about it a little bit, do something else. Haven't been stitching as dedicatedly as I have in the past. I don't know why, just maybe I want to come home and play Animal Crossing or Palia or whatever else is going on instead of sitting and stitching. But I don't feel bad about not stitching. It's not like my stitching bug is truly dead. Oh, little cat, no, leave that alone. Thank you, that was not helpful. Here, I need you to move. You've got your tail stuck in the power cord again. Alright, go over here. Come here. Anyway, so I nearly forgot to mention that I am stitching this on a 32 count raw gold linen, and I'm using all the called for flosses, not being very adventurous at all. Most of these are Weeks Dye Works with there's one DMC, and then my border I've gone off the reservation for, using Threadworks for that. I think it calls for little white X's. I'm using a Threadworks that is a red and green variegated. So those are my major stitching. And of course I worked a little bit on Lady of the Flag, but we'll kind of work her in as we talk about the Stitchery Express retreat. It kind of got off to a surprising start in that Cindy, who was organizing the retreat or everything, had quite the heart attack the day before the retreat. She was down judging all of, ow! Can you not do that? All the cross stitch for the Utah County Fair entries. Felt terrible, ended up in the hospital. Kind of a major heart attack from what she told us. So that fell on her trio of part-time employees, faithful and true helpers kind and true, I guess it is. Kathleen and Brooke and Candace and Garth, who often runs the shipping there at the shop. So it was up to them to hold down the fort for the retreat. And they did an excellent job with what they were given, you know, being thrust into running this thing at the very last second. They did a really good job of it. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday retreat. And Friday, being August 1st, meant that I needed to go to work and do a whole heck of a lot of stuff for month end close in accounting. And yesterday, Monday, and today, Tuesday, I did a whole heck of a lot more stuff for month end close. Like I say, I felt like I was behind the 8 ball. I think I said curveball before, which means I'm missing my metaphors and I am a tired child. Right, so I think, here we go. This was the first packet of stuff that was passed out, and I believe it was our registration part packet, and I'm not too sure about anything in here because I wasn't here when it was passed out, discussed, and told what it is. So I've kind of looked through here. It's all getting all over the place, and so in an envelope we had a whole set of roly-polies from July to December. Little bears and all sorts of costumes. Interesting. Don't know what I'll do with a whole heck of a bunch of roly-polies. Probably coming to a freebie table near you. Anyway, they are cute. They were published in 2002, I think is what we discovered. Not my thing, but interesting. So put those back away. We had a needle minder with some of our mountains, and that is a little Air Force jet. I think it's one of the F-35s flying over the mountains there. The retreat was held up in Layton, and right nearby is Hill Air Force Base, and so you often do hear the fighters going above as they do their test runs and come and go and whatever. So a cute little needle minder. Also a keychain that says "Stitch the Day Away." Kind of fun. And that was everything that was in that. There is a finishing board, nice little paddle, bamboo. Be interesting to see if I can figure out something to put on there, since I am not a super finisher. They had done some name tags with this cute design. They're gold, so they're kind of hard to see. Anyway, so name tags for everybody. And a pair of scissors. And a John James needle. All that was in our little packet. There was a a pattern set up over to the side where everybody was asked to come stitch a button onto it. And I have no idea what that was for, since I arrived late and don't know what was going on, but many people went over and sewed a button onto a thing. Cute, wonderful, I guess. Like I say, I have no idea what was going on or what came from whom. We were going to sit with, well, Sarah, our Stitching Kingdom, was really excited because her friends Sammy J and Vic Gables, Vic is, my mind is blank, I watch her too, Stitching Button, and Sammy J Stitches. I think she's changed her name, but I've watched both of them since almost the beginning of time. Anyway, they were coming in town, so Sarah had them, and then our good friend Andrea and Holly were at the table next door, and then Jen and Jen's mom was there too, and Carrie. So that's 8. So that filled a table, so there were 10 of us. So we ended up sitting right next to, on the table next to them, and we met some lovely people. We had Michaela with us, who we often see stitching, and talk to her up on Saturdays at Stitch-In at Stitchery Express. And we met Shannon, who is often up stitching on a Saturday, but we hadn't ever stopped and stitched with her. She was delightful. There were 2 more awesome ladies who we talked to and were at our table, whose names I didn't get because I got there late. And then next to us were a couple gals from Pocatello, Emily and Tiara, and those ladies were a hoot. They were best friends. It was one of those typical introvert, or the extrovert adopts the introvert, and they just got along like a house on fire, and they were hilarious. And what was kind of fun about that is kind of like seeing Lisa and I, you know, the extrovert has adopted the introvert, and just their interactions with each other. It was almost like looking at ourselves in a mirror. They were so fun. We had a great time with everybody at the table. So it's not like I'm singling people out that you were the bestest. No, everybody was great. We had an awesome time. We had so much fun. As a result, all the table freebies, I'm not really sure what came from whom because, once again, I was late. But one of the cute table gifts was this darling strawberry bag. Absolutely gorgeous. We have a 3D printed little floss separator is in here. This giant thing is a magnet and has decided to attach everything else to it that is magnetic. Here we go. So a big strawberry button, and it's magnetic, as I said. So you can put it on your shirt as a giant glittery badge, and then on this end you attach your scissors, and then you just put your scissors right up here, and you will never lose your scissors. You might drown in the depths of the sea, but you will never lose your scissors. No, little cat, please don't step on that. Here, right here. Come over here. Come over here. And don't use your claws. Thank you. Okay. There is this darling little, either a bag charm or a keychain with a strawberry. A darling, darling strawberry. What is this thing? A needle minder. Very cute. Plus, let's see, what do we have? A highlighter was in here. So this was pretty much a full kit of stuff so that you could just pick up and start stitching on whatever was in your possession right away. Get up and go. let's see. Oh yes, let's put that here. One of our darling table mates who we sat with noticed that I love purple, and she came up with a handful of purple flosses for me. So these are delightful and will absolutely go in stash and be used and loved. Let's see. We had the typical choppy sticky things. These are kind of fun. What else? Barb passed around some of these, so you have the little curly Q things for to go around, you know, hold your fabric in place. And if these aren't your style, there's some of the cable ties, which might be adopted out as actual cable ties for me. Those are fun. Another gal, oh, everything, had spools. These are spools of anchor floss. So random assortment of those, kind of neat. I hadn't ever seen anchor floss on a spool. Let's see, what do we got? So little Susie, she was at the table behind us. She passed around some needle minders. There was 3D printed floss bobbins with these little heart-shaped, it's not a padlock, but it's pretty much padlock shaped, so you can put your minders for your project, not your minders, but your floss drops for your project on the little thing. It opens up right here. As you can see, those were kind of cool. Can you not step on that? Come on, over here. Over here. Don't make me move you. And please don't crawl on my feet. All right. We had, I know I'm being really, okay. This absolutely cute little purple needle minder was passed out. A couple of stickers. All right. Oops. Vic Gable, stitching button, Vic Gable. Okay. She had a whole ton of little Halloween stickers, and these were the couple of the cute little guys that I picked out. She also had little chart minders. Oh goodness, chart minders. A little turtle with a magnet on his back to help mind your chart. Absolutely adorable. He made it onto my Stitchy frame stand so that he was more of a little pet friend up there with my hedgehog. One of our gals handed out some knitting things, so a Stitched with Love tag, along with a couple of stitch markers. One is a scissors and one is a ball of yarn. Both are looking at me, not being helpful for you. And then there was this hilarious 3D printed frog and needle pincushion. Pincushion is the word I'm looking for. And there were some larger ones for your orts that you could give a little donation to the Gary Sinise Foundation, and you could have a little ort container frog. These frogs were hilarious. 3D printed. Of course I found the purple one. So there is the random assortment of fun gifts. I passed out the little sidekick bags from So Much to Love. Every time I'm on Etsy looking for something, it seems like I just wander by her shop on Etsy and buy 3 to 5 of the little sidekicks in random colors and just kind of save them up. That way you spread out the cost all through the year. It doesn't hurt as bad. Anyway, so I passed those around and everybody got to choose their favorite pattern. Halloween, Christmas, flowers, barnyard, Valentine's. I had a little of everything. There was some bee stuff. It was great. Quite a hit. So I thought I did all right. All right, I'm going to pause and put all of this back in here, and we'll do smalls exchange. Oh, our 2 patterns, gotta do those, and Lady of the Flag. We had 2 designers for the Stitchery Express retreat, Pickle Barrel Designs and Carolyn Manning. Carolyn Manning sent her regrets a few weeks before the retreat. Her mother is not in great health, and Carolyn could not leave her, so sent her regrets, but her pattern and stuff still came, so it was a little sad that we didn't get to meet Carolyn, but we did get to meet Nancy from Pickle Barrel Designs, and she was an absolute delight. I happened to sit over at their table one for a little bit while I stitched on my little October thing, and chatted with Brooke and Candace and Kathleen a little bit, and Nancy was over there, and I chatted with Nancy as well. And the here is the pattern she had for us for the retreat, and I giggled at Kiss My Derriere. Lisa thinks that she is going to do fluent in foul language for her office at work. So they came in. I had got this beautiful project bag. I'm not sure if everybody's looked like this or if there was a wide assortment, but this is beautiful, beautiful project bag. So there is that. Let's see. We've got, I selected linen, so I have the linen pieces that I can stitch both of those items with. They included some cute gingham in a blue and a yellow to help with finishing your project. Well, get in, tuck, tuck, tuck. Let's see, a John James needle and another needle minder, Utah with a cow and a chicken in 2025. I will never lack for a needle minder again, although to tell the truth, I haven't lacked for a needle minder in years. Oh, here's where that is. I'll show you that in a second. And then they kitted all of the floss for the projects that you'll need, and actually put it on the little floss thingy. I don't know what to call that. Anyway, one of these things. So that was the first design that we received. And then the next day was the design from Carolyn Manning. And it is, let's see, Pretty Pink Carnations. Here's the design. Quite lovely. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Once again, linen. I have picked up a weird fuzz. The weird fuzz can go over there. A gorgeous needle minder reminiscent of the colors that are in the design. Another John James needle. And one of these beauties. Here on this side it is even engraved with the number for your flosses. Why can't I think of the name of these things? It's just gone from my head, you guys. Floss holders, floss separators, floss palette. Is floss palette the right word? It's gone. Anyway, and the thing I said, oh, here's where that was Sarah, our Stitching Kingdom. She gave a little pouch that has like these little glass cleaners here. And then this is one of those microfiber glass cleaners in there. Very handy. I'm always needing to clean my glasses since I have the bad habit of wearing them on my head, and that tends to get all hair greasy on it. So that was all the fun that was had. We had swig drinks. Just Google swig drink. It's a fancy sodas. And before you make fun of us, remember that most people in Utah belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who do not consume coffee or alcoholic beverages. Therefore, the fancy soda serves as a replacement for 2 items, the cocktail and the coffee. Deal with it. We had the several exchanges. There was a bag exchange where you brought a large bag that would fit a project. There was an ornament exchange, and there was a smalls exchange. I didn't have time to, I found out about the ornament exchange a little late in the game, so I didn't have time to stitch up an ornament, and I kind of forgot about the bag exchange, so I didn't do that either. I actually forgot about the thing where you need to bring 5 bits of floss to play left, right, center with floss with everybody else on your table. So those were some of the games we had. They were quite enjoyable, even though I didn't play all the games. I did do the smalls exchange, which I have said about 3 times now, and this is what I pulled. I know she's a tiny modernist, and she's just so cute and so well stitched and finished adorably. And she has magnets on the back. The gal who stitched her, whose name escapes me like everything else, and I'm a little embarrassed about. She was very lovely when I was talking to her. Anyway, she said she wanted it, you could use it as a refrigerator magnet at the very least. But I have a couple metal walls at my cubicle at work, so I think this is going to work to hang up on the walls. And in the depths of winter, I will look at this adorable tiny modernist mouse and think of summer. Anyway, super cute. I couldn't be more pleased with that at all. It was such a random draw. I picked up the package that was wrapped in Hello Kitty paper, and I thought, I wonder what's in the Hello Kitty thing. I wasn't expecting a beachy mouse, but a beachy mouse is excellent. So there is that. And now we will do Lady of the Flag. I have been working on beading Lady of the Flag for eons, it feels like. I know it's not eons. Just since, was it January, Princess? No, July. It was close to the end of June when I started beading on her, and I thought maybe I'd get her done by July, but I didn't do that. And that's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I was so close. And so I thought if I could get her all beaded while I was at the retreat, that would be a thing. I did not quite finish up her beading, but I did make my goal of getting everything beaded that I could reach inside of the Nurge hoop. And so I did a lot of stuff. I finished off the ruffle down here and these gold beads along here, this swirly bit here. I did this swirl here, and then this was too close to the edge down here. I couldn't quite reach it. So as you can see, I've got my Nymo thread all wound up around a needle, a minder, so it doesn't get too tangled, because I couldn't quite get in there. So this little edge, I need to hold her higher. So this little edge right here still needs beads. And then over on this side near the top, there's some beads that need to come right in here. And then finish off this little bit right here. Casting a shadow. So those are the other 2 edges that needs beads. And I'll do those in the spring tension hoop. And then if we pull up, you can see I got some of the back stitch in here and here. There needs to be more that comes down around here. And then it's just back stitch across the banner for Liberty and back stitch for the rest of the leaves down in and around here. And so I think she'll probably be done and ready for framing by the end of August. So that's kind of exciting. But I really went great guns, just crazy, working on nothing but the beading pretty much on Lady of the Flag during the retreat. And Sunday I was really pushing it, we can do this, we can get it done. So I had definitely hit my I am tired of this, I don't want to do this anymore point. and so was pushing it a little bit. So I think this upcoming weekend we'll take a break from Lady of the Flag. We won't work on her, but we might work on something else. Maybe I'll start the Autumn Quaker by Primrose Cottage. It's autumnish. Seems like a good time to get that started and get that going. So I guess that's my plans, is finish up Miss Lady of the Flag, start Autumn Quaker, continue working on Christmas by the Letter. It would be nice to get that one done this Christmas. She's another big project. Don't know that I usually do so many big projects in one go. It's usually one big one and a lot of small ones. But there are my thoughts on that, whether you wanted to hear that or not. I am thinking that's pretty much everything. I hope you guys are doing well. It's a beautiful sunshiny day. I can see the smoke in the air from the wildflowers that we are unfortunately experiencing in several parts of the state. Pray for rain, everybody. Pray for rain. Help our firefighters knock down those fires so they don't take out any more structures or take any more lives. Yeah. Be the good you wish to see in the world. Make your neighborhood a better neighborhood. If we start that small with the people we touch every day, and if they improve the people they touch every day, maybe we could spread a little bit of love and peace throughout the world. I love you guys. One step forward, one step up. Hugs and stitches, everyone. Bye.